So on paper, the Chicago Sky are out of their minds to let Kennedy Carter walk. But that's exactly what's happening because they could have extended a qualifying offer for her given, her free agent status. Instead, they declined to, which makes her an unrestricted free agent, which is them telling you they don't want her back.
The Chicago Sky's recent decision with Kennedy Carter seems completely baffling at first glance. They had the chance to extend a qualifying offer to retain rights to their leading scorer, but instead chose to decline, effectively showing her the door and making her an unrestricted free agent. Talk about a head scratcher, folks. We're watching the Sky organization implode in real time. Letting your top scorer walk isn't your typical roster shuffle.
Their lack of scoring and shot creation and what she did last year and her talent, for them to just not want her back and to let her walk is a big statement. It's a big statement.
And Carter isn't exactly going quietly. She's stirring up drama that hints at deeper issues. When you consider their desperate need for scoring punch and shot creation, plus Carter's stellar performance last season, deliberately choosing not to bring her back sends a pretty loud message. You know what they say about smoke and fire? Well, Chicago's got a full-blown inferno on their hands. Carter's been firing off some eyebrow-raising tweets, including shots at Angel Reese that have the basketball world buzzing.
Carter future in the W is not looking good, bro. I think it might just be over for her. Now, with all that being said, I know everybody want to know exactly what transpired online last night, and that's what we finna get into right now. Let's pull up this series of tweets, because the comment section of these tweets is unforgettable.
When your star player starts publicly calling out teammates, you know something's seriously off in the locker room. The situation in the Windy City is getting messier by the minute. Carter's future in the WNBA is looking shaky. It might be a wrap for now. The drama really popped off on social media last night, and we need to dive into these tweets because the comment section is absolutely wild.
Reputation thing around the league. That's not out of nowhere. That's not nothing. And I think it says a lot that the Sky are the latest team to be willing to part with Kennedy Carter, especially considered how talented she is, because she's got skills. There's no questioning that.
Here's the kicker. The Sky just parted ways with someone who put up 17.5 points per game last season. That's not just another roster move, that's a statement. This isn't coming out of nowhere either. There's clearly a pattern forming around the league with Carter, despite her undeniable talent. We're talking about someone who not only led the Sky in scoring, but then went to China and averaged nearly 30 points per game in the offseason.
The GM put out a statement basically saying, the fits are going to be different and all that. But all the reporting and the common sense tells you that there were issues behind the scenes with Kennedy Carter. And this is not the first time. That has been the story of her WNBA career. And if someone else is going to give her a chance, it may be her last chance in the WNBA. But so it's almost shocking that it would happen from just a basketball personnel standpoint. But it's not surprising to see Kennedy Carter have a Sky goodbye, given everything else we know.
The front office tried to smooth things over with some PR speak about different fits and whatnot, but let's be real. All signs and common sense point to some serious behind-the-scenes drama with Carter. This pattern isn't new. It's been the recurring theme throughout her WNBA career. If another team rolls the dice on her, it might be her final shot in the league.
Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
While the move seems mind-boggling from a pure basketball talent perspective, the messy breakup between Carter and the Sky isn't exactly shocking given the backstory. So what would drive a team to cut loose such a gifted player? Buckle up, because this is where it gets interesting. Sky GM Jeff Palioka dropped some subtle hints that there's more beneath the surface than just numbers. He mentioned something about Carter's fit changing, and we all know what that's code for in sports lingo. Houston, we've got ourselves a situation. Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year. The GM stated, she's extremely talented and can impact the game at the highest level in our league.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to Book it out of Chicago.
We absolutely appreciate everything she contributed to our team last year. However, with our staff changes and upcoming roster adjustments, those changes affect Kennedy's fit on the team. We wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
Sky franchise that's been an absolute dumpster fire since winning the WNBA championship in 2021. Let's go through some of the names that have left. James Wade, who was the coach and GM, left in the middle of the season last year to go to the NBA. Candace Parker, Emma Messman, Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley, Kalia Copper was traded, Azura Stevens. And then this year, after drafting Cardozo and Reese, they were competing for a playoff spot and traded Marina Mabrey, their veteran, before the Olympics.
Here's the kicker. The Sky aren't just letting her walk away. They're practically showing her the exit. When Palioka talks about giving her the best opportunity as a free agent, we can read between those lines. Thanks, but no thanks. Remember when the Sky were riding high just a few years back, snagging championships and making waves for all the right reasons? Now that feels like ancient history. They've plummeted from champions to bottom dwellers, wrapping up last season with an ugly 13-27 record, 5 games worse than their previous showing.
After a 13-27 season, the Chicago Sky have decided to fire Reese Witherspoon. In the words of Vince McMahon, you're fired!
Talk about a nosedive. Is Angel Reese becoming a coach killer and now a player killer too? Because it sure looks like Kennedy Carter's ready to bolt from Chicago. The inside scoop suggests the locker room was a powder keg, with players reportedly frustrated by Carter's conduct, and former coach Teresa Weatherspoon seemingly reluctant to tackle the issue head on. It's like watching a train derailment in slow motion, isn't it?
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
The Sky franchise has been spiraling since their 2021 WNBA championship. Let's run through the exodus. James Wade, both coach and GM, jumped ship mid-season last year for the NBA. Then there's Candace Parker, Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley, and Kalia Copper getting traded. Azura Stevens left too. This year, after drafting Diamond DeShields and Reese, they were in playoff contention, but still traded Marina Mabrey before the Olympic break. But hold on to your hats. The Carter situation is just scratching the surface. We haven't even dived into the Twitter drama yet.
But wonder, is that what happened here? Is Angel Reese and the way she wants to play, and I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media post, but she's very me, always. Me. Well, you may have a player that has decided that she's had enough of that.
Carter's been throwing some major shade online. Now, who's caught in her social media crossfire? None other than Angel Reese. And trust me, we'll dig into that spicy drama shortly. First, let's rewind to where things started unraveling with Teresa Weatherspoon. You know, the WNBA legend turned coach who was supposed to lead Chicago to glory. Well, that dream fizzled out fast. After a disappointing 13-27 season, the Sky gave Weatherspoon the boot. Sometimes meeting your heroes turns into a total disappointment.
If Camila Cardoso is an underrated aspect of everything because she didn't really shine last year because Angel got so much love, and that's not a diss. It's just, Cardoso was drafted higher and wasn't there at the beginning of the season, and they're not a perfect mix. So how they balance that, how the new coach balances that, is going to be interesting to see.
That's basically what happened here. Instead of building a championship atmosphere, Weatherspoon transformed the locker room into something that belonged in a teen drama. And guess who became the teacher's favorite? Angel Reese. Inside, sources revealed Weatherspoon lost control of the team by creating an environment that catered to just a select few players. When coaches pick favorites, things usually go south quick. Weatherspoon handed Reese everything: playing time, offensive plays, special treatment. It was like watching a proud parent at their kid's recital, except this was supposed to be professional basketball. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad might as well have been wallpaper, sitting there watching Reese pile up stats even during 20-point blowouts. You've got to wonder, is this what happened here? With Reese's me-first attitude, just check her social media. It's all I. Maybe someone finally hit their breaking point with that approach. The situation got even worse. Weatherspoon's coaching style wasn't just frustrating, it was destructive. Behind-the-scenes sources revealed players were done with the locker room atmosphere, where personal highlights trumped team success. And let's talk about Camila Cardoso, the rookie who should have been Chicago's rising star. Weatherspoon couldn't utilize her effectively if her job hung in the balance, which, ironically, it did.
This Chennedy Carter Instagram account right here, guys, and I'm here to tell you, bruh, she been going on a little rant all night long. Now, this is the tweet right here that kind of sparked everything. She stated, I think the ability to consistently make layups just put anyone in a different tier. So important to score easy. Now, a lot of people is insinuating that this tweet is towards Angel Reese.
Cardoso's development really flew under the radar last season because Reese hogged the spotlight. That's not a knock. It's just that Cardoso was picked higher and joined us late, and they weren't a natural fit. How the next coach handles that dynamic will be fascinating. You'd expect more from a Hall of Famer, but Weatherspoon's strategy seemed limited to feed Angel and hope for the best. Late game situations? More like late game chaos. No surprise the players' respect vanished faster than their winning record.
Just like I've been telling y'all, bro. She has been making it her business to sneak this Angel Reese every chance she get. Now, since she's been cut, it look even more obvious. Somebody said, LOL, you ate down. Now, this tweet right here just popped up here. Somebody tried to come into the defense of her because we know she's a free agent. So, like, if you throw teammates, ex-teammates under the bus, that's going to hurt you even more.
Talk about stat padding. You're down by 22 points against the Fever's bench squad, and that's your game plan. Starter or not, she's out there padding stats for a double-double. It's like putting the cherry on top of a disaster sundae. Weatherspoon's total lack of control. By the time she got the boot, the damage was done.
As an organization, we just, felt it was time to make a change. There's just private issues that I think we will keep just in the Sky locker room.
The Sky had transformed from championship hopefuls into a what not to do story in pro sports. So what's the latest with Carter throwing shade at Reese? Looking at Carter's Instagram, she's been on quite the late night rant session. The spark that lit this powder keg, she dropped this tweet. I think the ability to consistently make layups just puts anyone in a different tier, so important to score easy. Now, most folks caught that this was a not so subtle dig at Angel Reese.
Marina Mabry, she's already flown the coop on this team, and it was quote unquote because of culture. Well, what happened to the culture? Who torched the culture? Who's selfish on the team that would cause the culture to melt down?
Here's the thing about professional athletes. They love serving tea on social media, and Carter just cranked up the temperature to scalding when it comes to the Chicago Sky drama. You know those cryptic posts that make you scratch your head and think there's more to this story? Well, Carter just dropped one that had everyone connecting dots faster than a fast break. Let's break this down. Carter's layup tweet seems innocent enough on the surface, right? Wrong. Context is everything here. Angel Reese had been struggling with layups all season. We're talking a 42.4% success rate, dead last in the WNBA.
A level of discipline and a level of professionality here where, the players just have to worry about playing basketball. A lot of things don't get down to the players, and I think that's really good.
That's not just below average, that's historically bad. Out of 321 attempts, Reese only converted 136. Ouch. Carter's been taking these subtle shots at Reese every chance she gets, and now that she's been cut, it's becoming even more obvious. Someone commented, LOL you ate, and then this new tweet popped up. Someone trying to defend her because, let's face it, throwing former teammates under the bus isn't exactly great for your free agency prospects. Now compare that to Carter's stats. She was hitting over 60% of her layups. Talk about a not so subtle flex. It's like bringing a 5-star dish to a potluck while your teammate shows up with charred cookies.
We see the players here are very experienced and they want to keep a good environment, and they make sure that they kind of hold people accountable for that. So
the shade got even thicker when a fan posted those layup percentages, and Carter couldn't resist adding her 2 cents. For those who don't speak Twitter shade, that's about as subtle as a billboard. Looking at the organization's statement, talent. We just felt it was time to make a change. Yeah, clearly there were some behind-the-scenes issues brewing. When speculation started flying, Carter tried to backtrack faster than a guard on defense, claiming, "I just focus on me. That was literally about me and how special of a craft it is." Yeah, right, Chennedy. Here's what's crazy. This Twitter beef isn't just about two players going at it. It's showing us just how messed up things are in Chicago. We're talking about deep locker room issues, obvious favoritism, and a team culture that's about as stable as a house of cards in a windstorm.
Free agents were skeptical of joining the Sky. On Wednesday, Pagliota acknowledged the team had heard things along those lines. It's really bad.
Take Marina Mabrey. She jumped ship citing culture issues. But let's think about that. Who wrecked the culture? Who's the me-first player that turned everything toxic? When Mabrey got traded to the Connecticut Sun, she couldn't wait to talk about joining a team that could actually compete for a championship. Ouch. But she didn't stop there. Mabrey went on to praise Connecticut's professionalism and discipline, saying players could just focus on basketball. Remember, this is the same Connecticut team that practices in a gym shared with yoga classes and birthday parties. And Mabrey still thinks it's better than Chicago. Double ouch. It's like she's saying, thank heaven I escaped that circus. There's a level of discipline and professionalism here where players just have to worry about playing basketball. Mabrey said, a lot of things don't get down to the players, and I think that's really good. You know what they say, actions speak louder than words, but in Mabrey's case, her words are painting a pretty clear picture of the mess she left behind in Chicago. When a player can't stop raving about their new team's discipline and professionalism, you know something was seriously wrong with their old squad. But Mabrey wasn't done yet. She kept going, praising how the Suns veterans maintain a positive environment and keep everyone accountable. That's not just throwing shade, that's casting the entire Sky organization into complete darkness. Obviously, the players here are very experienced. They want to keep a good environment, and they make sure they hold people accountable for that, she said. And remember Camila Cardoso, the Sky's number 3 overall pick in the 2024 draft.
About the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball.
Turns out she was about as effective as an umbrella in a hurricane. Word is, Cardoso's potential went completely untapped under the previous coaching staff. Instead of developing their top draft pick, they were too busy playing favorites. And you know what happens when you mix a toxic locker room with wasted talent? You get a disaster that would make even the worst contestant on Hell's Kitchen look like a master chef. The Sky weren't just dropping games. They were losing their whole identity as a pro basketball organization. Free agents were thinking twice about signing with Chicago. By Wednesday, Pagliota admitted they'd been hearing these concerns. That's pretty rough. So how does a once proud franchise climb out of this kind of mess? Step 1 is admitting there's a problem.
We're definitely in a position, and I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.
At least Sky management seems to be heading in that direction. GM Jeff Pagliota pretty much confirmed that cutting Chennedy Carter loose was part of a bigger plan to shift the team's culture. Let's flip the script and talk about a team that's actually getting it right. While the Chicago Sky are self-destructing faster than a condemned building, there's a certain team in Indiana showing everyone how it's done. You know who I mean, the Indiana Fever, women's sports. It's an incredible opportunity to be part of this rising tide we're all experiencing. Everyone in this company is all in. Everyone in this city is all in. They're saying in Indiana. Remember when the Fever were the WNBA's doormat? Well, those days are history. In just one season, they've transformed from bottom dwellers to playoff contenders. And here's the best part. They did it without all the drama, social media feuds, and locker room chaos we've been watching in Chicago. What's their winning formula? It starts at the top. Fever president Kelly Krauskopf isn't playing around. She's focused on building a lasting culture, not just chasing quick wins. In her words,
Women's sports, it's a big opportunity to be a part of this rising tide that we're all experiencing. Everybody in this company's all in. Everybody in this city's all in.
The future is so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012.
I really feel like we're poised and set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball. And you know what? I'm buying what she's selling. There's something special about how they're playing. The passing, the shooting, it's all clicking with fans. Head coach Stephanie White is backing up those words with action. She's built an environment where players feel both empowered and responsible. No favorites, no drama queens, just ballers working together to win. The contrast with with Chicago's situation couldn't be starker. Speaking of players, you've got Caitlin Clark leading the charge, but here's what's different. No special treatment, no stat padding, no designed plays just for her. We're seeing pure, authentic basketball brilliance. Clark's not just bringing her A game, she's elevating everyone around her. That fierce competitive spirit combined with total team dedication. We're definitely in a position where if you're a smart basketball player and you watch how she plays, you'd want to play with her. That's what real leadership looks like. But it's not just the Caitlin Clark show. Players like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell are flourishing in this new Fever culture. They're showing you can shine individually while still playing team basketball. It's like they figured out the secret formula. When you build a winning culture, people notice. The Fever have become the team everyone wants to join. Players across the league are looking at Indiana thinking that's where the magic's happening. It's not about flashy highlights. It's about being part of something bigger. The Fever's success is making waves beyond their record. League officials are giving props to their management for smart decisions and positive atmosphere. They're setting the bar for how a WNBA team should operate. The future is bright and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. To come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012. Let's get real. The Chicago Sky's meltdown isn't just their problem, it's a wake-up call for the entire WNBA. Organizations need to step up and focus on building positive cultures instead of chasing individual stars and padded stats. Here's the thing, rebuilding team culture goes beyond just switching out players or firing coaches. It's about creating clear communication, accountability, and putting the team first. The league's made it clear, strong cultures are crucial for both player satisfaction and winning games. Teams like the Indiana Fever are showing exactly how it's done, turning things around by focusing on unity and support. So what's your take? Is women's basketball at a crossroads? Can teams find that balance between developing talent and building team chemistry? One thing's certain, time's running out and the stakes are sky high. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe, turn on those notifications to stay updated, check out the video on screen, and catch you in the next one.